not actually a special feast day today. It's just Tuesday of the 6th week of Easter. Just a reminder that there are confessions available at St. John's this evening from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And then we'll live stream the Rosary at 7 p.m. I know for whatever reason, that seems to be a difficult time to get the connection to hold up. But I always figure at least the Rosary, we all kind of know those prayers, so we can figure out how to, if frames are dropped or we have a little buffering problem with the feed, we can always kind of pray on our own and get back together as the video gets back together. So that's on the agenda for today, this evening. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, there will be confessions available at St. John's from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And then live streamed Mass at noon. That's tomorrow. And then Friday evening at 6:30, we'll have evening prayer. Also, too, Friday we'll be starting the Pentecost Novena in preparation for the great feast of Pentecost that brings our Easter season to a close. But also, too, Pentecost weekend is a kind of a special one for us this year because that's the first time we'll be celebrating a weekend Mass together. So that we'll start praying that on the 22nd, and then all throughout next week. And speaking of next week, so the first time we'll have a weekday Mass available will be Monday, May 25th at 9 a.m. We have the Mass at 9 a.m. because it's Memorial Day, so that's kind of our normal schedule. We'll follow that. And then we'll have Mass on Tuesday, the 26th at 6:30 p.m. And then on Thursday, the 28th at 8 a.m. Different times for all of them, but we're still working on all the logistics of making sure that we have everything clean and ready between Masses. So we'll keep working on that and making sure that we're providing as safe an environment and as clean as an environment as we can. Made me think that probably people have quite a few questions on what to expect when they come back to Mass. So I thought the next couple days I'd try to kind of walk through that a little bit, talking about it. I'm hoping that we might be able to do a couple videos from over at church here at St. John's at least, just kind of to give a visual of what we might be dealing with. We'll see if that's possible. But because I kind of always feel about for us who are attending church, it's going to be kind of three things that we're going to have to deal with probably as a participant at Mass. There's going to be some different things in the celebration of Mass, things that will probably be simplified, some hygienic protocols that we'll be using. But that really doesn't affect anybody in the pew, that they have to do something. So one thing I would encourage is that, washing your hands, especially frequently, like they're telling all of us to do all the time, that'd be a good thing to do before coming to Mass. If you want to bring, your own small container of hand sanitizer, I think that's a really, really good idea. We probably will have a little bit available and some available, but it's all going to be that kind of that pump style. So, we get into that whole idea that if everybody's pushing the same pump, exactly what, there's some issues there. So if you have, a small bottle that you take other places, it would be really good to take that and probably sanitize your hands as you're coming into church. The goal is to have, all the doors, both here at St. John's and St. Michael's, open, so nobody has to pull on a door to get in. So as people are coming in, hopefully the doors will be propped open so that we can easily walk in and walk out. And then seating will be a little different in both places. Here at St. John's, we have very long pews. Actually, our pews are 24 feet long, the full-size ones. So, blocking off or going every other pew might not be necessary just because we have so much room in one pew. So I've kind of explained it before that we're going to look at maybe kind of a checkerboard pattern. So if the pew in front of you has people sitting on the ends, then if you sit in the middle and then the people behind you sit on the end, if we kind of checkerboard it through there, that should provide that social distancing. At St. Michael's, I'm sure we'll have to probably go every other pew at least and maintain kind of that social distancing. So coming in and being seated, you're going to want to look for a place that does give you that proper distance, 6 feet away from anybody else. Now you can sit closer to those you live with. We're not going to separate out families that way, but those family groups, whether you're a 1 or a 5 or how many ever people are living under the same house, if they all come together for Mass, they can sit together, but we need to keep those little family groups 6 feet apart from each other. And that's really that's pretty kind of the procedure, of kind of getting everybody into their places. And once everybody's in their places for the start of Mass, then Mass will flow pretty regularly up until, I'll talk a little bit about the communion procession tomorrow, because that will be another time that people will be moving, but everybody will pretty much just stay in their pews. You'll sit, you'll stand, you'll kneel. All the different things that we do normally during Mass, all those gestures will remain the same, but it's more of keeping everybody kind of distant from each other. Also, too, wearing a face mask, we strongly would recommend that for people. And now, Deacon Mark and I at the altar, when we're very separate from everybody, that's probably not a time I would be wearing a face mask, but there will be other times during the Mass that I'm sure I'll be putting one on. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, the things that you kind of want to think about to provide for yourself probably are a mask of covering of some sort, and then also too hand sanitizer or sanitizing wipes. Right now we won't have any of our hymnals or anything like that available. The church will be very bare in that way, in the pews and everything like that, to make them easier to clean and keep everything hygienic and safe for everyone. So hopefully it won't seem too strange. It'll be a little bit different, but ultimately, the celebration of Mass will be the celebration of Mass. So getting into the church, like I said, hopefully we can, we'll be able to have all the doors propped open, get everybody seated 6 feet apart from each other, and that will be, and if people cover their faces as a reminder, that's for other people, that's not necessarily protecting ourselves, but it is kind of a sign of Christian charity and care and concern for our brothers and sisters. And we'll see how that goes. So those are things to, we still got a few more days, over a week before the weekend, because this weekend there's still no public celebration of Mass. But we'll start to move towards that next week, starting on the 25th, and then for sure on the weekend, the 30th and 31st. So hopefully, and there also too will be people in the church to help guide, and help people be directed. I think we're all pretty much used to, any place we go, that 6 foot distance. So I think I'm optimistic that people will kind of be able to handle the policing of that themselves. But if we need reminders, we'll be able to provide reminders for people too, to make sure that they are maintaining that distance. So, that kind of sums up kind of the first section, getting into church. And we'll continue. I'll continue over the next couple of days to talk a little bit about some of the other things at Mass that we'll see that'll be a little bit different, but will be something that we'll just have to get used to. So hopefully everybody has a very nice day, this nice rainy day again. We'll pray for some nicer weather. I think it's coming the rest of this week, and let's all continue to pray for each other, and we'll continue to look out for each other and look forward to that time when we are together, even in a limited way, for the celebration of the sacred liturgy. All right, everyone have a great day. God bless.